Hello students, today again we will continue with the same chapter and its name is equality, and today again we will go through some more content related to this chapter. That is, in our last video we have done with the examples of caste discrimination and protective discrimination. So you might all have gone through that topic. Now we will start with the new topic, that is many forms of untouchability. So there are so many forms of untouchability that we will talk about. In 1999, P. Sainath, an Indian journalist, wrote a series of news reports describing untouchability and caste discrimination is still being practiced in many places in India. So in 1999, P. Sainath, he was an Indian journalist. He wrote a series of news reports which described about the untouchability and caste discrimination prevailing those times in India, but nowadays it does not prevail anymore, or you can say that due to the people awareness and due to the constitutional rights, it does not prevail. Still in some places again it nowadays also it prevails. So what examples he has given? First one, at tea stalls cups are kept separately for Dalits and others. So those times at tea stalls the cups were separate for the Dalits, that is for SC STs, and for upper caste it is separate. Barbers refused to serve Dalit clients. The barbers at that time, they always refused to cut the hairs of Dalit people. Third example is Dalit students were made to sit separately in the classroom. So in those times, Dalit students, those who belong to lower caste category, they were allowed to sit separately from the other students of the class, those who belong to upper caste. But you can easily correlate it with that nowadays these things does not happen in our classes, in our schools, that whether a child or a student is SC, ST or OBC, they always used to sit with the upper caste only, and the teachers also never ask about their caste. Whatever they teach to upper caste children, the same they teach to lower caste children also. Next example is Dalit grooms were not allowed to ride a horse in the wedding procession. You all know that when the grooms used to come in marriages, they used to come in on the horses. But at that time, the Dalit grooms, the lower caste grooms, they were not allowed to ride a horse in the wedding ceremony. So all these examples of the various types of discriminations that prevail in our society, P. Sainath succeeded in drawing attention of the common masses towards the social problem and its impact on the already weaker section of the society. So these were only few examples which are related to the caste discrimination prevailing in those times. So P. Sainath, who was a journalist at that time, he has gain or draw the attention of the common people towards this caste discrimination. And yesterday, as we have talked about, that there are so many negative impacts on the society of this caste discrimination. So this P. Sainath, he has drawn the attention of the common people towards this caste discrimination and their impacts also on the society. The government is also making concerted efforts to protect the interest of the tribal people, which will bring them at par with other sections of Indian society. So with this, government also made so many efforts to protect, to safeguard the interest of the tribal people as well as of the to safeguard the rights and interest of the other lower caste people, other backward classes people, so that they can raise their standard of living in the society. Apart from the safeguards provided through legislation In the constitutional provisions, the Government of India has taken several steps. Some of those provisions made for the betterment of socially and economically backward people are as follows. So, apart from these awareness of the common people and all, the government took so many efforts and took so many steps to safeguard the interest of these other backward classes for the betterment of the society, for the betterment of the underprivileged people, and government has taken so many steps that we will discuss as follows. First one, the government has taken first step, that is reservation in government jobs, that is 15% for the scheduled caste, 7.5% for the scheduled tribes, and 27% for other backward classes. So nowadays you all know about the reservation system, and which is prevailing in our society since so long, that government has given the reservation in the government jobs, like 15% the government has given to scheduled caste, then 7.5% reservation the government has given for scheduled tribes, and 27% for OBCs, other backward classes, so that the government can uplift their standard in the society. Second point is reservation of seats in the Lok Sabha and other representative bodies. So government has reserved the seats in the Lok Sabha also for the members, especially for these backward classes and SC, STs and other representative bodies as well, so that they can be treated equally in the society. Third is reservation of seats in educational institution. So in each and every institutional educational one, there is some percentage of reservation of seats during the admission time for these economically and socially weaker sections of the society. Fourth one is provision of grants and scholarships to the economically weaker sections of the Indian society. So there is a lot of provision of grants and scholarships to these economically weaker sections of the society. One example I want to share with you, that whenever you go for any form filling, whenever you fill any form related to any competitive exam or anywhere in government job, for government jobs, or for any admission in educational institution or any competitive exam, whenever you fill any form, so there is always a reservation category on that behalf. The students or the people, those who belong to these lower caste, or those who belong to scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, OBCs, they get a special concession on these forms as well. Whereas the person who belongs to the upper caste, they do not get any concession and they have to fill the form with the prescribed fees. But the reservation and concession, these grants and scholarships are enjoyed by these economically and socially weaker sections of the society. And the last step that government has taken is launching of vocational training in tribal areas. So the government has taken the government has launched so many vocational trainings. Vocational training means by which the people can earn something. Such training which can learn, which can teach people how to earn their livelihood directly. So such type of vocational training in tribal areas where different tribes are living. So there the government has launched so many vocational training programs for the tribal areas, so that they can learn it and they can earn their livelihood very easily, so that they can uplift their standard of living in the society and can be treated equally in the Indian society. So this is all about our today's topic, that is many forms of untouchability and how the government has taken different steps to for the betterment of these socially and economically underprivileged people, and These steps has proved a lot in the society, that these economically and socially weaker sections of the society has gained a lot in the form of reservations in the different fields. So students, this is all for our today's class, and you please write like your views in your comment section and give your attendance as well. Thank you, class.